While there were some that were too hurt to return to work underground, one man says he has to. Tommy Davis lost his son, his brother, and a nephew in this tragedy. He says it's been the hardest year of his life to date, but he felt like his son was telling him to return to work underground. And simply put, he says it's who they are. Matthew Smith has the story.
Me and Cody got lucky for some reason or another. It was close, but we got lucky when they didn't.
There are more questions than answers as Tommy Davis walks through the Memorial Gardens in Glasgow. He speaks of his son, Corey Davis, brother Timmy, and his nephew, Joshua Napper. They all worked together until the three perished on April 5th, while Tommy was left helplessly exiting the mine.
I felt that wind. I seen that dust.
It's been a year, and Tommy still questions why he stands here today. He visits Corey regularly, right here at a place many call the Teardrop. Tommy says Corey believed in guardian angels, sleeping with one over his head as a child until the day he tattooed one on his neck. Now Davis hopes his son is watching over him.
I can hear him saying, "Pops, get off if you can and get it. This is what we do. This is what we wanted."
Davis returned to the mines this past month. He says it's therapy in a way. He says he can cry just as well underground as he could above. Mining was his son's calling, but Corey wasn't just his son. He was a co-worker, his go-to guy, Tommy's best friend. Now, he's gone.
It ain't no different. You still love him just as much, but I miss him a whole lot more. Things should have been different. I wished it was, but they're not.
Corey was always smiling, always laughing. If he wasn't going full bore in the coal mines, he was off shooting in the woods or spending time with loved ones. Those are the times Tommy reflects on.
That's some of the good memories you have. It'll make you laugh. Won't be long, it'll smack you in the mouth and make you cry again.
Sitting here before his son's final resting place, he remembers it all. From the day Corey was first laid on his chest, till his final day 20 years later.
He's just big enough to hold in my hands. From that day to that day, I told him I loved him before I went in the mines. And hearing him, I say it back, say, "I love you too, old man. I'm gonna cut me some coal."
Every time Corey entered the mines, he told his father they were dancing with the devil. They've changed that saying up now at the mines. They say Corey boy is dancing with Jesus.
But the time we spent together can't be taken from me. Ain't nobody can take that. Nobody.
Corey was a father's dream. He made people laugh. He made people mad. But family members say everyone loved him. He wasn't afraid to say he loved them back either. At the age of 20, he still hugged and kissed his parents, even in front of his coal mining brethren.
You drive by, out of the dark you hear, "Love you, old man." I know he was standing there flipping that switch so I wouldn't have to do it. He didn't care. Spoke his mind, shared his feelings with anybody.
Something Tommy does too. Leaving this site is one of the hardest parts of his day. When he does, he says he realizes Corey is just one story in a sea of pain. He says the studies, the research, none of it matters. The faces, that's the true story of the Upper Big Branch mine.
There's a lot of other people out here in this world that needs that hand reached out, and maybe that hug, maybe that reassurance, hey, we're here for you. It's not going to get better, but you can tolerate it a little bit better.
Reporting in Kanawha County, I'm Matthew Smith.
Davis says going back to work has been therapeutic for him, and at times he still hits a wall of emotion, especially when he remembers places where he would have seen his son. But he credits his veteran co-workers who also knew his family members. Many of them help him get through this ordeal.